Good morning, my brothers. Today is November 30th, and so we turn to the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, for God's daily dose of wisdom. I was going to do a couple of verses down there towards the end, but the Lord said, no, verse 5 is what we're going to talk about this morning. It's interesting that Proverbs chapter 30, just as an aside, is not written by Solomon. It's written by somebody else by the name of Agur. We don't know much about Agur, actually. But anyway, Proverbs chapter 30, verse 5 jumps off the page. And it reads like this: Every word of God is tested. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. There are many different ways that you can test something. Engineers will go through a series of tests on a material in order to determine its breaking point. And its breaking point can be found in a number of different ways. You can bend something until it breaks. You can stretch something until it breaks, or you can twist something until it breaks. And all of these are a form of testing. And engineers do that in order to find the point at which it will break, or during a bend, or at the point at which it will break during a stretch, and so forth. So engineers will deliberately test something in order to find the breaking point. But in this particular case, this word tested, if you look it up and you dig down into the original, it's actually a word that means smelting. It's very reminiscent of Psalms chapter 12, verse 6, where we read, "The words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace on the earth, refined 7 times. That's what he's talking about when he says he's testing it. He's testing it by putting it into the fire. And this morning, the Lord was saying, we need to talk about this testing because there are people who are listening who are right now undergoing a test. Now, God isn't an engineer that he's trying to find out what your breaking point is. Quite the contrary. What he's doing is he's putting you in the furnace and he's refining you, because the vessel that comes out of the furnace that has been refined is a vessel that is pure, a vessel that is useful, a vessel that is worthy of being used by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So if you are there in the crucible, being tested in the fire, this last part of this particular proverb is for you. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. That's what the last half of Proverbs 30, verse 5 says. And I'm reminded of Psalm 3:3, where it says, "But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory and the lifter of my head," or my glory and the one who lifts my head. Be encouraged if you are in the middle of a test. Remember, the teacher doesn't talk during the test. And so you may feel like you're alone because you've been praying and God hasn't been answering your prayer. But I want to assure you that the testing, the refining that you're going through right now is so that you would be refined, so that you would come out a pure vessel. God intends to burn away the dross. He wants to prune away those branches that do not produce fruit. God is in the business of making us holy. And so when we undergo the testing or the crucible, please be aware that God is right there and he's got his eye on you. Just as a silversmith, when he is refining silver in the crucible and he scrapes off the dross as it comes to the surface, he is looking for his own reflection in you. Because when he sees his own reflection, he knows that the refinement process is complete. Guys, we're going to go through that refinement process on a continual, ongoing basis throughout our lives. Don't be deceived. God is right there with us, encouraging us, wanting us to succeed, but we need to allow that dross to come to the surface so that he can scrape it off. I love you, my brothers. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you.